Hello and good day. My name is Gorokaniki Ameshramal Gomez, and my FYP title is Health Monitoring and Delivery Drone for Rural Communities. So this guy right here is part of my final year project. So the motivation for this actual project actually came with the emergence of the coronavirus pandemic. As we can see, as we now all see, that the healthcare sector now are very overburdened and so on like that, with so much testing and monitoring to do. So a solution to that would be to have these testings and monitoring done outside of a healthcare facility, where there's not much, giving not much pressure to the clinics and hospitals and so on like that. And those kind of concepts has been there for a while now, and they were known as healthcare kiosks. So what I'm trying to build here is a medical healthcare kiosk, but a mobile one at that, so it can move between communities if needed. At the same time, if you can have a monitoring system, you can also deliver as well, especially if it's on a drone. Added to that is that when you get the monitoring system, when you get the data, we've linked it to a SQL database, and the SQL database is linked to a portal or a web page that handles so much like a social media account. And over there, the patients and doctors can actually monitor the health data taken from this drone as well. So that's a bit of an overview on what this project is. As you can see, this is a quadcopter design, tested as quadcopter design, but it can be upgraded to octocopter as well. So yeah, that is an overview. So we'll move on to the problem statement, and we'll see how this project actually works.
So like I've explained, my topic is health monitoring and delivery drone for rural communities. The problem statement for this project actually comes from what I've just explained. So the first problem statement is that a lot of the hospitals and clinics are over limit and overcrowded. This is true in normal situation, and it's far worse in pandemic times such as now, where we can clearly see how much the doctors and nurses are overburdened. So the second problem statement is actually due to the fact that the people in rural areas don't get their health checkup, or they do not do their healthcare monitoring because of the inconvenience they have to go through in order to get these things done. So moving on to the objective, like I've explained about my project, the first is to create a mobile kiosk platform in order to monitor the patients. Second is to implement a delivery system in order to make deliveries within a small community area. And third is to create an online platform where the data of the kiosk, it gets uploaded so the doctors and patients can track their data. And of course, it provides a communication platform for patients as well. Lastly is to develop a facial recognition technology for the medical kiosk systems in order to make the system more efficient. So a bit on the literature review. So every drone needs a flight controller and ESC, which is a speed controller for the motors. And of course, a receiver and transmitter. The battery powers it all. So a bit of the methodology in the portal. This is the drone with the 3 combined hardware systems in place. And this is when the drone testing is done. As you can see, quite a bit of testing has been done in order to get the stability right. So the stability is actually done through a software called the NASA Drone Assistant Lite. Moving on to the portal. So portal is basically like a website, and it acts as a social media platform. So as you can see, when you first get there, you can see the toolbar. In order to access the drone or the health data, you first need to register. When you register, you can fill in all your username, password, and everything else. Once you are done with all the registering detail, an email will be sent to activate your account. After that, you can simply log in with your username and password. In order to have access to the drone and health data, you need to buy the membership. Currently, it's actually free. So moving on to just the social media aspect of this project, as you can see, you have your own profile where you can update statuses and show your activity and so on like that. So in order to have access to the sensors, first you need to store your face in the database. You can do that through that drone tab like it just happened. So this is the GUI for the facial recognition system. Once a face is identified, it will check the database, and if it's not in the database, it will show it like this. And then the person can enroll that face, then the subject will be identified. Only when identified will be the sensors be turned on. Then you can get the temperature and the serial monitors. As you can see, they get automatically transferred to the SQL database. Or lastly, once it's on the SQL database, it's automatically updated to the portal. Overall performance, reliability, and efficiency analysis. These 6 types of analysis were done. So first, the weight to thrust ratio. The drone weight overall is 1.3 kilograms, and the maximum weight it can carry is up to 2.2 kilograms. The battery that's using is actually a 4500 mega ampere hour. The average flight time is around 35 minutes. Noise analysis, as you can see, it was tested at 3 meters away from the drone and 6 meters away from the drone. But with both graphs, the noise level is actually lower than 85 decibel level, which is given by the standard as acceptable noise level. So the body temperature is accurate to 0.1 degrees Celsius. Pulse sensor is not as accurate. It gives an accuracy of the heart rate between 8 BPM. The image processing reliability is actually quite high. The accuracy is at 100%. It never not recognizes a face. Data transmission speed is actually almost immediate, but there could be delays between the ESP and the SQL database depending on your Wi-Fi bandwidth. So in conclusion, this project has actually quite a broad area, and it has actually created a mobile kiosk platform in order to do monitoring outside of a hospital or a clinic, and it can make deliveries within that small community. And of course, it does the patient identification using facial recognition, which cuts out a lot of the waiting time period. And the automated data transfer to the portal makes it very easy for patients and doctors to monitor what is going on with the patient. And it also gives a communication platform to patients and doctors, because especially if you're living in a rural area, you don't have access to specialists and doctors in a certain specialty. So unless you talk to them remotely, you do not get the opportunity otherwise. So for future work, an onboard GPS, since the drone has an onboard GPS, it can make automated deliveries, and the portal can have an e-commerce shop where patients can buy their medicine and the drone can deliver. And of course, the kiosk system can actually make an AI system into an AI system as well, with a diagnostic algorithm in order to make simple diagnostics and so on like that. So the expected outcome for this project is actually, since it is a new concept and so on like that, there is a patent going to be filed for this project as a drone-based smart medical assistance system. And a journal publication will be made on the IoT monitoring and the communication system, and a conference paper on the review of the drone-based medical techniques and systems used. Thank you very much for listening.